Welcome to UK Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yukai Kechidori.
Hello and welcome back to another very special episode. As you know, every now and again, I bring you some earth movers, people who are truly making a difference. And today is one of those days. I'm privileged to bring to you Julie Laughton. Julie, who is an outstanding architect. In fact, you're going to discover a whole lot more about what Julie has done. But what stands out for me, Julie has been leading the way for the last 30 years, building homes, helping so many people, business owners, everyday people with their business. In fact, I know this to be true that Julie has completed over 1,000 remodeling and custom homes along the affluent coastal community of Orange County and many other places like the Hollywood, Pasadena, where I've just been, and the Beverly Hills. Julie, thank you so much for joining us here for the first time on this show.
You're very welcome, and I'm glad to be here.
You know, I've been looking forward to talking to you because you're really an example of what it takes to your lifestyle, really, what it takes to lead and to win. One of the things that stands out is you are in what, quote unquote, men's world, you know, in the architect. Talk to us about your experience, how you ended up being in the industry and helping thousands of people.
Well, my career started with me going into architecture, and then I did mechanical engineering, which is simply the drafting of the plans to build the house. And then I did landscape architecture, and then I studied interior design and space planning. And then I became certified in custom kitchen and bathroom design. And with my experience in New York City, working on 40-story high rises, and then taking all that experience as a designer to residential market, what happened is when I was in residential, I just had to become the contractor because I needed to make it a seamless, stress-free process for the client, because residence is a little different than commercial. It may not be as organized or as many professionals. So I became a contractor along the way to help the client. And then I became up at the one-stop shop.
Incredible. And one of the direct result of that is you end up competing with 7 other professionals in getting the job done, which is outstanding.
That's true.
Yeah. And not only that, you lead the pack. I remember asking you a question, you know, about competition, and you said something very, very important, and I love people to hear about that.
Well, with me, because I do the job of 7 other people, the architecture, I manage the engineers, I manage the city submittal process, I do the interior design, I do the what you call interior decorating, and then I do the landscape design and the pools and the spa, and then I'm the general contractor who runs the build of the project. So there is no competition because no one else does what I do and dares to take on the whole project from A to Z and manage it on behalf of the client. No one wants to step up and do that. So I do that, and my clients love it.
Yes, you are operating in your own league and there's no competition whatsoever.
Nope.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. With that comes with a different set of mindset. And a lot of people listening here want to know how you think and how you look at projects and how, you know, what are your processing process, you know, when you are approaching a new project. Would you share with our audience how you do that? How do you do it?
Well, as a designer, I see the finished product before we start, because I can walk into anybody's home, and after talking to them for a few minutes and interviewing them, I can see what needs to be done almost immediately. It's like the house speaks to me. So between the house knowing what it needs, because you can see it, and then the client telling me what they want, I usually come up with that idea in the first 30 minutes. So that puts me ahead of all the other people anyway, because everybody else needs to draw it and think about it. And they don't have that. I guess it's kind of a magical talent. I mean, I just have this talent to see it.
Did you work for that, or this is something, innately you're born with? Because
I am born with my ability to draw. Since I was 10, I was drawing animals and horses and dogs and cars. And then I started drawing buildings when I was like 14. So I'm an artist. I also played the drums, piano, and bass violin. And I'm also a 7 handicap in golf and tennis player, and was a lifeguard. So I have talents, archery champion, skeet shooting champion. Yeah, I have talents. So I was born with a lot of my talent, but I learned my business skills in New York City.
Wow, amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I do believe that you had to work to perfect those talents, particularly in the work that you are doing. What sort of work ethic and sort of input has to go in there?
Yes, the work ethic is huge. And I'm from a small town in Iowa. I don't know, there's a thing about people from the Midwest. We have a strong work ethic, but I really learned how business works in New York City with the best of the best of the best. And that's where I got basically my training of how to work and how to be in business. And it's all about getting it done on time, being available 24/7, and knowing what you're talking about, period. Being prepared.
That's right. Incredible. In fact, later on, I'm going to ask you, to give our audience maybe an example of how you select the person to help you with your interior. And you've touched on that already. But, for those who are joining us, we will be covering that in great detail. Let's dive deep. Imagine I come to you for the first time, Julie, and say, Julie, I've got a project here in England, and I need to redo my place. For you to help me, help you come up with a great plan, what do I have to think about, or what do I have to process or plan before I get in touch with you?
Well, the easiest thing we do is have you pull pictures of what you think you want it to look like. So you get pictures of a visual, but then I talk to you about, what are you going to do in your home? How do you live? What's your lifestyle? Because that's how the home flows, and that's the space planning. So how it function is huge. And, do you like to eat in the same room as the kitchen? Do you like your bedroom to have, larger seating area? Do you want a spa tub? Do you just want a huge shower? We go through every single thing you do in that home in detail, and you tell me what you like. And then I customize the home how you want it to function. And then we go back to, how does it look? Because it has to function before you make it pretty. And then the final touches is, the little things you put in it, like your furniture and your whatnot, but it really has to function and flow. And then you make it look good. And then that's also, is it durable? Is it easy to clean? Easy maintenance? There's about 1,000 decisions to make, but they all go in order. And it's all about how you live in the home and what style you like.
Yeah, amazing. In regards to that, when helping clients for the first time, what are some of the biggest challenges you face in trying to get them to that place for you to help them effectively?
Well, I have a lot of clients with a lot of different personalities, and some of my clients don't want to do the homework. Some of my clients have zero time. So if they can get me pictures and have 2 or 3 meetings with me so I can go through the interview process, I'm good. But sometimes it's hard to get them to focus. And then when you have 2 clients and they don't get along, or they have different ideas, because people are partners doesn't mean they like the same colors. So you should see what happens with couples and partners, because when you have to go through this process of customizing the home to fit what you like, oh my gosh, you get into the nitty gritty with people and you realize, oh my God, they have nothing in common.
How do you deal with that in the end? Because you want to please both of them.
We have to flip a coin, basically, or just make them, somebody has to agree who's going to take the lead, or we go through this extensive design process where I prove which is better, regardless of what they like. And then we go neutral, but we do get something out of it, because I've had it where they fight to the last minute on what color or whatever. And then I kind of prove what's going to be better that will solve it for both.
Wow. That's where you shine, really.
It's a process. It's like a psychological profile. And then we got to work with each person's personality and how some people don't visualize. Some people don't listen well. Some people just need to speak. But some people aren't visual learners. They can't read the plans. So you got to do a whole different dog and pony show with the samples and the colors and 3D drawings. So everybody's different. And I customized for each person.
Wow, gosh, that's why you are one of the best. Because, just hearing that makes me think there's a lot of work going in there. Because building a home, particularly, this is maybe one of their biggest assets. So people's emotions are at play, and because they know they might be in there for a very long time, so they want the best, and somebody else wants their best, and then you have to find a way of balancing out. You have an incredible skill sets to be able to achieve something that will please both of them.
That is also a natural talent. I think I'm born with artistic talent and sales, and they call me the mediator. They call me Austria. Just kidding. They call me because I know how to be the referee too, and get things done, because I'm coaching them to get their job done, and then I'm getting the job done. So it's a big freight train moving along at a good speed, and they got to stay on the train. And I have to create rule and order.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. With all these busyness, that you'll be having to do all this, how do you, as a consultant, I know a lot of people, would want to know how you stay, up to date with the latest trends, latest interior home modeling. What do you do?
Well, I look around at what everybody else is doing, and I don't necessarily go trendy, because I refuse to give the client an option that locks them into something that might go out of style in 5 or 10 or 20 years. So I am very aware of who's building what and what the trends are on TV and on the news and in the neighborhood, because you just have to go to the neighborhoods and see what they're building. And a lot of people follow trends, and I'm just aware of them. But with my design, I like timeless. So the client never has to remodel again on the stuff that's screwed and glued to the walls. It's timeless, but they can change their furniture, their pillows, their sheets and towels. But I like to do timeless design, easy to take care of. So
beautiful.
That's how I do it.
Absolutely beautiful. Who wouldn't want that? Because you and I know, and everybody knows that, design changes all the time. If you've got something timeless, something that you can repurpose, you're onto a winner in all seasons. I was looking at your website, Julie. Some of the work that you've done there in Beverly Hills, and there's a video there of you and with the team there. Outstanding. How long, in general, will it take to take on a project to completion under your supervision?
Well, most projects are 1.5 years, because the plans take 3 months to 6 months, and then the project of new construction is easily 1 year, or it could be 1 year and 3 months. And so it's 1.5 years. We know each other, but then I stay with the home for the life of the home. So all my clients are still in touch. I still know everyone, and that's kind of fun. But some remodels you can do in 6 to 9 months, but it's 1.5 years commitment.
Yeah, amazing. I love that you stay in touch with your client, because they will give you other projects, because you normally work with most of the affluent community, which means that they will be building more opportunities for you.
Yes. I have some clients with homes in 3 countries, and I have clients with homes in 3 states. So, and then I have clients with homes in 3 neighborhoods of the same town. So I do have clients with several homes, and we work on them all.
Wow, incredible. If you are looking to get somebody to help you with that, you can tell that Julie has got something to say here. You can reach out to Julie on the link given below. In fact, we're going to talk about that shortly so that you have more details. But just in case you want to dash off and do something else, we want to remind you that at the bottom of this recording, there will be a link for you to go and catch up with Julie and the team. How big is your team, by the way, Julie?
Well, I have 20 employees, and then I have 25 subs. So there's 50 people all day long, and there's 5 people right around me that are working right next to me. And then I have all the guys in the field that do, all the work from demolition to finished carpentry. So it's a big team. It's a huge amount of overhead, and we move fast because I have everything at my fingertips. So everybody's, and they all go back 10, 20, and 30 years of knowing each other.
Amazing. Amazing.
They
You
never,
had
they never leave. Once they come, they never leave.
wow, it's because there's a great leadership there. Let's talk about anybody who's looking right now to have somebody like you to help them. What are the criteria should they be looking at, or should they be using to identify who to work with?
Well, the first thing is you got to have someone with experience. And then if you want to hire someone like me, there's nobody that does all 5 or 7 things you need. So you would have to find a designer or an architect to do your plans. Then you would have to find the engineer to do the structural, civil, or soils. So there's 3 engineers, maybe 5, depending on your project. And then you'd have to find an interior designer, because the architect doesn't pick out the floors and the counters and the windows and all the colors and the materials. And then you would have to find the contractor who is willing to work with your architect day one. There's a secret. The architect should be working with the contractor day one, because you want to know how much it costs before you waste money on drawing plans. So there's a whole method to the madness, but it starts with the architecture, the designer, and then the engineers, and all those people should be working together and talking to the contractor, so you don't waste time drawing plans that don't work or can't be built to your budget.
Incredible. That alone is the biggest tip that anybody listening can take on. And if you want to know more, click the link below for you to find out more. Let's talk about the future, Julie. I know you perhaps are already training other people, ladies, to get into the industry. What does it take to do what you do?
Well, first of all, you'd have to go to college for architecture and design and get certified in custom kitchens. So if you really wanted to do what I do, you'd have to get all 3 degrees and be able to draw and draft and, have the talent of drawing, because some people don't know how to draw. They just do it on a computer. So, and then you'd have to, so that's the design aspect. And then you'd have to get in the dirt and get a job in construction. And I always recommend women go into project management or construction management, because then you see how the whole thing works from A to Z, and you get to work with everybody, including the architects and the engineers. But project management is the best place for women to jump in, or younger people, men and women both, because just because you're in construction doesn't mean you have to wear a tool belt and break your back. You can get into the business end of it, and the project management is a huge thing to have, especially with the larger companies.
Yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. I want to talk to you now about business, because you manage the whole thing. You go and get the clients, you then manage the team that does that. Knowing what you know now about your industry, Julie, if you were to start all over again, what would you do to create a successful business for yourself or for anybody else?
To start from scratch, you really have to know how to market, because just because you're talented, if you have no clients and they don't know who you are or where you are, you have to know how to market. So the first thing I did is put a little ad in the paper, 35 years ago, and I still have that same ad in the paper. And that's where I get most of my business. But it's about knowing how to market yourself, and then having the confidence to have a team around you sooner than later, is because teams mean overhead. So it's hard to grasp that concept when you're first starting, that you need to hire 2, 3, 4, 5 people. I mean, my overhead is $200,000 a month. So in the beginning, I never thought it would be that big, but you got to really have a team and a support team sooner than later. I did this for all by myself for the first 15 years with no helper on the drafting, nobody helping me go to the city, nobody helping me measure, nobody helping me design, nobody helping me sell the client, nobody helping me marketing, and nobody helping me run the job. I did it by myself the first 15 years. And then I finally brought a secretary on to do the billing, because I was doing that too, and the payroll. So it was kind of insane how long I went actually doing it by myself. So the best advice I could give my former self was hire more people sooner and charge more.
And charge more, yes, I like that.
Don't give deals because it's going to kill you, because you should have more support. Yeah, in the beginning.
Talking of marketing, Julie, what is the best marketing strategy that has sustained you over the last, say 15 years when you started having overheads?
Okay, the best marketing strategy is to stay in the same paper and the same market consistently. And then I added radio to that. And then I just recently kicked up the word of mouth. So I do more networking now, because in the beginning of my career, because I was unique, the girl that could design and became the contractor, I was unique that I was 90% word of mouth. So I did one ad in the paper. So now I do 6 different ads and 2 different radios, and I'm a 90% referral from those. So I'm going to push it back to a little more word of mouth, because I can, and do some more networking. But the best advice is to be consistent and pick your market and be consistent. Don't just run ads here and there. Be consistent. Even if it's once a month. That doesn't have to be every week, but consistency is how marketing works.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I agree with you. The more consistent you are, the more people will find you, because people will come back because they know you will be there.
Yes.
They say, oh, that girl. Yes. Yeah, I saw it. Let's see if it's still there. And they go into the papers to find you.
I have people that have saved my ad for 5 and 10 years and then call me 10 years later and they save the ad. And it kills me. Amazing. Consistent always beat them all. I love that. As we come towards the end of our time together, Julie, what sort of projects are you working on that you would hope our listener can jump in on there, or get to work with you, or maybe use some of your services? Well, my first most famous one, my favorite one that you could say is famous in Laguna Beach, is a cottage that was built in 1928 by my client's father. And he was a Japanese immigrant. So the house is staying in the family, and she's going to pass it to her daughters. And it has a beautiful garden he did back in the 30s. And the house is just one of those charming cottages, original beach cottages. And it's all clad in wood inside and outside. It's just so much detail, but it's just a charmer, a classic Laguna Beach charmer. And then I have another one that's on the hill that goes street to street, which means it's a long lot with 3 stories. The top story has a living room and kitchen. The next story is the master bedroom and guest rooms. And then the 3rd story is a pool and a discotheque. And the bottom story is an ADU and a gym. So, and that's ultra modern. So I have 7 others going at the moment, but there's all different styles, and that's the fun part.
Amazing. And for those who wants to connect with you and find out more information, what is the name of your website or social media or the team access?
The easiest thing about my whole world is it's my name. So my website is Julie Laughton. And Laughton is like Charles Laughton, the famous English actor, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm actually related. So there. Oh. Yeah. So my last name is my great grandmother's maiden name. She never married. So I have my English family's last name still. It's kind of fun. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And we will put the link of the website below this recording as well, should you want to direct access connection with Julie. Well, Julie, this has been wonderful. We've enjoyed having you, and thanks for your generosity with your knowledge.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it very much.
Incredible. And again, if you want to learn more on what we've been talking about, just click the link below, and Julie and the team will be able to help you. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly, truly yet to come. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to UKAI Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.ukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.